For anyone wondering, by the way, if you're young enough to have not seen SNL in the 90s, this should answer your question that it was not funny back then either.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, this was not funny even in the heyday. I like this era of SNL.
I'll
These
even
characters are not good.
I'll even say that I watched SNL like pretty regularly throughout the 90s. I loved like the Chris Farley era going into like the Chris Kattan, Will Ferrell era. This very much was Will Ferrell era. SNL were kind of a forgettable, sketch. Like I remember the sketch, like seeing the character. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that sketch. And she used to smell her fingers. And there was actually a movie. I think they did a movie of Mary Kathleen.
They do a film out of that?
Superstar. Yeah, they
Was
did.
it Jimmy Fallon the other character, or was it Chris Kattan?
I
Probably Chris Kattan.
honestly couldn't even tell.
Fallon
I
was
know
later.
Farrell was in it.
Yeah.
As like the boyfriend character, and that's pretty much the only
Do you
thing I
think her
remember about
writers,
the movie.
Kamala's writers were like, we need a Catholic character.
But no, so what clearly what's going on here is that, and I'll just say this: the theater kids need to be stopped.
100%.
We have a theater kid occupied government.
I think
Decog.
John Doyle did a video on that where he was like
This
talking.
is it's like that's literally what's going on. Is that Kamala Harris's entire campaign is being run by theater kids.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone other than theater kids who remembers this character or remember. It's like Molly Shannon. Like, by the way, Molly Shannon is older than Kamala Harris. She's actually, yeah, she is. No, true. It's look it up. So Kamala Harris is 59. Molly Shannon is 60. Fact check me. That she's actually older than Kamala Harris. It's like you couldn't find something just.
Oh yeah, she's 60.
There you
they
go.
should have pulled out It's Pat for the
Like
trans
a
movement.
little bit. Oh no, you can't do that. No, and that was Julia Sweeney, by the way. Right. Boom. Keep them coming. I'm telling you, I like that era of SNL. That it just goes to show you that like Nick Offerman had like a song this week. Like there, it's like I'm kid you not, he had a song. He has a song that he put out. So from Parks and Rec,
Right.
which is even slightly a little bit newer than this SNL character, but again, just they're trying so hard to find ways to appeal to millennials, and it's just so cringe.
Well,
That's exactly what I was going to say. It shows.
It feels like Gen Xers though, because I was a little kid when she was doing this weird armpit sniffing stuff.
Yeah.
I remember it.
Yeah.
Like I remember it.
It wasn't funny.
And it was like I the character was funny.
If Beavis and Butt had endorsed Kamala Harris, I might consider voting for her.
Yeah, but Mike Judge would never do that.
I know.
We're on SNL recently, and those were good sketches.
Because Mike Judge is based.
Yeah, he is.
Like Mike Judge is like friends with Alex Jones. Like he used to go on InfoWars back in the day. He's like lives in Austin, I think, now. And yeah, like no, Mike Judge is great. He would never keep in mind that Mike Judge also made Idiocracy, which completely predicted everything that we are living in now, like almost 20 years exactly to it.
Yeah.
Welcome to Costco. I love you. One thing about this sketch too.
I met my wife there.
They're not the most biting, horrible anti-Catholic jokes you've ever heard, but just the safe, edgy, making fun of Catholics thing. It's so old. It's so over. I'm not even just saying that as a Catholic. I think everyone watches that and they're like, oh, that was so brave.
The Gretchen Whitmer Doritos thing.
That was so weird.
Well, and
was
Trump
disgusting.
And Trump turned that into a joke. He said, "Where's Kamala Harris tonight? I guess she's not here. Maybe she's in Michigan getting communion with Gretchen Whitmer."
Did he say that?
Yeah, he said that.
Oh my gosh, I missed that one.
Yeah, so Trump actually makes a much better, more nuanced Catholic joke than Kamala Harris ever could. And actually, Seamus, I'll throw this out there since I didn't really plan to talk about this, but here we are. So when that character came out, so in the 90s, the church was much more powerful of a force in society than it is now. And so she's playing this ubiquitous Catholic schoolgirl type character, which was a stereotype in the 90s. But Catholic schools don't exist anymore the way they used to.
It's true.
They're all getting consolidated. They are getting smashed. They are getting my own Catholic high school. So Tim, like, I used to talk about, come on here and talk about my hometown. And I'm getting like fact checked about this because I talked about it on the Tucker tour. And so I got this journalist, fake, journalist, whatever, was like, "Oh, is it true that your hospital was demolished and now there's a Planned Parenthood?" Like, yes. And so my Catholic high school was actually in the process of being torn down as I was with Tucker on the tour. Wow. And I've gone back and I did a video of it right there. Like, you can see there's a whole of it. So basically, when it was funny back in the day because the church just had a more ubiquitous role in society today. Whereas now, where like Catholics really are feeling like they're persecuted, which, by the way, persecuted by people like Kamala Harris, who said, if you're a member of the Knights of Columbus, which is like the most vanilla, these are like the church and like the guys who bring you to your pew, like, hey, there's 2 seats over here, there's 4 seats over there. They do coffee and donuts after services.
No, they're radical Catholics, Jack.
And she was calling them radicals and saying that you were like, she was likening them to the KKK, which, if you know anything about the
doesn't
history.
like Catholics, by the way.
Which,
Like,
if you know anything about the
KKK does
history,
not
actually, the Knights of Columbus were, They were
exactly.
actually instituted to protect Catholics from the KKK.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.